Right now, somewhere in Ohio, in Manchester, in Brisbane, in Auckland, there's a person staring at their bank app at 11 p.m. wondering where their entire paycheck went. They didn't buy anything crazy, no vacations, no shopping sprees, just life. And yet, 3 days before payday, they're down to $40. Here's the strange part. This isn't a story about someone who makes too little money. This is a story about someone who makes enough money but has never once told that money what to do.
By the end of this video, you're going to understand a method that some of the wealthiest, most financially disciplined people on earth quietly rely on. It's not a hack, it's not a trend, it's a system that forces every single dollar you earn to have a job before it disappears. It's called zero-based budgeting, and once you understand it, you'll never look at your paycheck the same way again.
Picture a person we'll call Jamie, 31 years old, working a steady office job, earning what most people would call a comfortable salary. Jamie isn't reckless. Jamie pays bills on time, doesn't max out credit cards, and even has a savings account. But every single month, that savings account barely moves. Sometimes it even shrinks. This is the confusing part for so many people in the USA, UK, Australia, and New Zealand right now. The feeling of doing everything right on paper, yet still feeling financially stuck. Jamie isn't lazy with money. Jamie is just doing what almost everyone does by default, earning, spending as things come up, and hoping whatever's left at the end of the month becomes savings. The problem is there almost never is anything left, not because Jamie's bad with money, but because Jamie's money has never been given actual instructions. This is the quiet trap that most budgeting advice never addresses. It's not about earning more, it's about the fact that money without a plan behaves like water without a container. It just spreads out and disappears into the nearest gap.
Most people who try to budget do it the same way. They look at their income, mentally set aside rent, maybe groceries, and tell themselves they'll save whatever's left. This is sometimes called a leftover budget, and it's the single most common reason budgets fail. Here's the mathematical flaw. If Jamie earns $4,000 a month and simply pays bills as they come, that leftover amount is never actually protected. It sits in the checking account, visible, spendable, and incredibly tempting. A coffee here, a subscription there, a slightly nicer dinner because it's been a long week. None of these feel like mistakes in the moment. But by the end of the month, that leftover has quietly evaporated into 40 small decisions nobody tracked. This is where zero-based budgeting flips the entire model. Instead of spending first and saving whatever survives, you assign every single dollar a purpose before the month even begins. Income minus allocations should equal exactly zero. Not because you have no money left, but because every dollar has already been given a job, including the dollars going into savings and investments.
Let's define it simply. Zero-based budgeting means your income minus your expenses, savings, and debt payments equals zero at the start of the month. Not because you're broke, but because nothing is left unassigned. If Jamie earns $4,000, every one of those $4,000 gets a label: rent, groceries, transportation, debt repayment, entertainment, and, critically, savings and investing. This is different from the popular 50-30-20 method, where 50% goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings, using fixed percentages regardless of your actual life. Zero-based budgeting doesn't use percentages at all. It uses your real numbers, your real bills, your real goals. Here's how the math works in Jamie's case. $4,000 comes in, $1,200 goes to rent, $400 goes to groceries, $200 goes to transportation, $300 goes to debt repayment, $300 goes to entertainment and personal spending. That's $2,400 allocated so far, leaving $1,600. Instead of letting that $1,600 sit loosely in a checking account, Jamie assigns it to $800 to an emergency fund, $500 to a retirement account, and $300 to a fun money category for spontaneous spending, guilt-free because it was planned. 4,000 minus 4,000 equals zero. Every dollar has a name. This is the part most financial content skips, and it's the most important part. Zero-based budgeting isn't powerful because of the math. The math is simple. It's powerful because of what it does to your brain. When money sits unassigned in an account, your brain treats it as available, which triggers what behavioral economists call the mental accounting gap. Spending feels harmless because nothing was technically planned for that money, so nothing feels broken when it's spent. But when every dollar already has a job, spending outside that plan creates a small, immediate friction. You notice it, you feel it. That tiny moment of friction is often the entire difference between someone who saves consistently and someone who wonders every month where their paycheck went. There's also an emotional layer here that matters more than most people admit. Jamie's frustration wasn't really about money, it was about a lack of control. Feeling like your paycheck disappears without your permission creates a quiet, chronic stress that many people in high-cost cities across the US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand experience without ever naming it.
Zero-based budgeting doesn't just organize your finances, it hands you back a sense of authorship over your own life. That shift from passenger to driver is often more valuable than the money itself.
Let's walk through exactly how to build one, using round numbers so it's easy to follow no matter where you live or what currency you use. Step 1 is calculating your true monthly income, not your salary on paper, but what actually lands in your account after tax. Step 2 is listing every fixed expense you cannot avoid: rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments. Step 3 is listing variable but necessary expenses: groceries, transportation, phone bills. Step 4 is where most people get it wrong. You must assign savings and debt payoff amounts before entertainment and discretionary spending, not after. Step 5 is allocating whatever remains to lifestyle categories: dining out, hobbies, subscriptions. Step 6, and this is the non-negotiable rule, every dollar must be assigned somewhere. If income minus allocations doesn't equal 0, you're not finished. The comparison below shows how this method differs from 2 other popular approaches, which helps clarify why so many financially disciplined people gravitate toward it. Zero-based budgeting. Every dollar assigned a job. Income minus allocations equals 0. People who want full control and are willing to review monthly. The 50-30-20 rule. Fixed percentages for needs, wants, and savings. Beginners who want a simple, low-maintenance structure. Envelope system. Cash divided into physical or digital envelopes per category. People who overspend digitally and need a physical spending limit. The reason zero-based budgeting tends to outperform the others for people trying to hit specific goals, paying off debt, saving for a house, building an emergency fund, is precision. Percentages assume your life fits a formula. Your rent, your debt, your goals rarely do.
This method isn't effortless, and pretending otherwise would be dishonest. It requires you to actually sit down every single month and rebuild the budget, because irregular expenses, car repairs, medical bills, a friend's wedding, shift the numbers constantly. People who thrive with zero-based budgeting are usually people who enjoy a bit of structure, or who are motivated by a specific goal strong enough to justify the monthly maintenance. If that sounds exhausting rather than empowering, that's a completely valid reaction, and it's worth knowing there are lighter alternatives, like the 50-30-20 method shown above. But if you've ever felt that quiet frustration Jamie felt, money disappearing without explanation, the small monthly effort of zero-based budgeting is often the fastest path out of that feeling.
3 months into using this system, Jamie's checking account still isn't overflowing. There's no dramatic transformation, no sudden windfall, but something quieter changed. Jamie stopped feeling that low hum of anxiety every time a bank notification popped up. Jamie knew before the month even started exactly where every dollar was going. And for the first time, that included dollars going toward an actual future, not just survival until the next paycheck. That's really what this method offers. Not a shortcut to wealth, not a trick, just a return to something simple: control. If this helped make personal finance feel a little less overwhelming, subscribing helps this channel keep breaking down these ideas in plain, honest language.